Hey, Guitar Nerd is here with an updated Rune Farm guide video for both the mid and end game of Elden Ring. From what I've seen at this point, this is still probably the best Rune Farm location overall in the game so far. Once you have access to this area, you'll be able to get about 13k runes every 10 to 12 seconds, which comes out to about 78k runes per minute and 4.6 million runes per hour. And you can get even more runes than that later on too. It does take a few steps to get there though, so I'll keep it short and sweet and go ahead and get started. The first thing you'll want to do is get the Golden Scarab Talisman if you haven't already gotten it. This will boost the amount of runes you'll get when it's equipped, so I highly recommend getting this item for any time you want to farm any runes at all. In order to get to it though, you will first need to find the abandoned cave entrance, which you can get to by following this same path going east from the Smothering Wall site of Grace. Once you get there, just follow this path through the cave to make it to the Fog Wall, where you can obtain the Golden Scarab by defeating the 2 Clean Rot Knights in this room. As long as you get some hits in between dodging or blocking their attacks while using your Spirit Summon as a distraction, then you should have this fight over in no time. If you do have any trouble though, then feel free to check out this early game OP and Rune Farm guide in case you may have missed anything so far. Now that we have the Golden Scarab, we can focus on completing the side quest line for Varre in order to get access to the Rune Farm location. If he is no longer available at the first step site of Grace at the beginning of the game in Limgrave, then you can find him at the Rose Church located southwest of Liurnia. Once you finish talking to him, he will give you 5 festering bloody fingers, 3 of which we'll need to use to invade other worlds. It doesn't matter how the invasions go, so as soon as you are done with your 3rd one, just talk to Varre again and he will give you the Lord of Blood's favor, which is a cloth we'll need to soak in some maiden blood. Unfortunately, we are still maidenless, so the easiest maiden blood that can be accessed is by starting from the Bellum Church site of Grace with your highest focus armor on to help avoid dying from the madness when going up the hill towards this location where we can dip our cloth in the maiden blood right beside of the Church of Inhibition site of Grace. You can do this without having to kill the enemies in the Lord of the Rings tower if your armor has enough focus to resist madness, like this mushroom armor set here. But you can always attack the enemies there if needed as well to get rid of the madness spell that they cast at the top of the tower. Either way, just be careful with the invader NPC that spawns in by the Maiden's Blood, as they can easily kill you depending what level you are at, so feel free to hit the site of Grace first if needed. Now that we have the blood-soaked cloth, we can give it back to Varre, who will then give you the Pure Blood Knight's Medal. Although he tells you not to use it, we will immediately use it. This will allow us to teleport to Mogwin's palace, and from here, just follow this path while avoiding all enemies in order to eventually make it to the Palace Approach Ledge Road site of Grace, where we can now get to farming some runes. So all we need to do now is come over to this spot, target or aim at the bird, and shoot an arrow right when it turns around and watch it run off the cliff like an idiot and fall to its death. And that's it! We now have 13,245 runes each time we do that. And for whatever reason, if you need more arrows at any point, just go back to the merchant at the Church of Ella and buy as much as you need. There are a few different spots that you can use for this rune farm, but this spot that I am using here seems to be the most consistent for me in successfully getting this stupid bird to eat himself off the cliff each time. Overall, once you get the hang of it, you can farm these runes every 10 to 12 seconds, since you don't even need to watch the bird fall before running to the site of Grace to respawn it as you get the runes. So that would come out to about 78k runes per minute or 4.6 million runes per hour. And that is why this is probably still the best overall rune farm location in the whole game. Even other rune farm guides that claim to get more runes than this are still at this location. The only difference is they use either the Star Scourge Greatsword from Radahn's Remembrance or the Sacred Relic Sword from the last boss fight of the game to kill the other enemies in the area with the weapon skill right after shooting the bird. However, given that both of these weapons require higher levels for skills that you may not want to level up for your build, I would say this approach overall is for the end game of Elden Ring. Feel free to comment below though if you found any better locations or rune farming methods, and I'll be glad to cover the next best one that comes along. You can also use the description below to follow my socials if there is anything else you'd like to pitch for me to cover too. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe as I continue to roll out more content like this, and stay tuned as I am currently working on a location guide for some of the best sorcery spells in the game, as well as an updated OP guide for the mid and end game of Elden Ring. But until next time, happy gaming!